Actually, if we're talking about the 5 Faces of Freedom, this is a book I wrote under my spiritual name, which is David James. And the book is an integration of all these teachings, but applied to how we actively can awaken fully into the Christ mind, which is, again, the ultimate purpose of forgiveness, is to remember who we truly are and then express that in our lives. So the beginning process has us starting by identifying the attachments that we have in the past that still define us. For instance, if you met someone and they said, well, Colleen, who are you? And you started describing yourself as, well, I was born here, and these are my parents, and this was my childhood, and this is what happened in my life. You're defining yourself by your past, your own particular story. And that separates you from other people. It also separates yourself from the totality of who you are, because you're much more than your past. So in the beginning stages of forgiveness, we need to look at those parts of our past, particularly that we still hold a grievance against. Like, that shouldn't have happened. The actual way in which we do the letting go would have involve getting in touch fully with the feelings around that, and being willing to recognize that those feelings will bring us to our heart, where we'll recognize truly what our heart is saying. That of course you're an artist. Of course you're beautiful. Of course you have this creative energy that's always been flowing through your life. So that would be an example of the reversal of that idea that, oh, I'm not an artist. Okay, so that would be a way that you could apply the principle to everything in your life. You identify it, you recognize the feelings, and oftentimes the beliefs that have been attached to that experience, and you bring it fully into the heart, where it gets reframed, it gets undone, it gets reversed. Because the truth is, always, and if you bring in this radiant divine energy, it will meet your life experience in your heart, and you will transform. This is what I call the Oasis experience, bringing something from your humanity along with the truth of your divinity into your heart, and recognizing, wow, I am an artist, and I'm free now in my life, and I'm going to claim in my life the way to fully express the artist that I am into my world. So that would be an example around that. So there'll be a collection of things that we have from our past to let go of. Okay, so that would be the first stage in this. Now we're talking about the 5 faces of freedom. So one of the faces that has limited our freedom is the face of our past. That's evidenced usually in our mothers and our fathers and other people from our past. Okay, so we deal with that. Then we need to go in the same way to the world we're living in now. We need to identify where are those places in my world now where I'm allowing this idea that's not true to reflect itself in my world now. I need to identify them, and again do the same process of bringing all that energy that comes from my heart, from my true self, and say, no, that's not true. And oftentimes at this level, we're making significant changes in the way that we're living our lives, because in our present world, this is what, again, the full expression of our divine creative self needs. It needs the structures that are going to support you in your life now. Okay, so everybody will have some work to do around how is your life now, how is your world structured to support you being the divine expression. See, so you're saying you get the freedom from the past, okay, the freedom from the world, and this would again tie in a lot to the teaching of Eckhart Tolle, because a big part of his teaching is called freedom from the world, and he has this lovely expression that says you're not free from the world until you've learned to love everything in it.